Right, 16 July 2024, and I would like to apologize for the late start. This is because of some technical issues. There are a lot of technical issues today, and I hope that this will be sorted within the next few weeks. Our provider is giving us a lot of issues. But today I want to quickly look at what is happening in the news. And the first thing I want to look at is what Mnangagwa is doing. So Mnangagwa has continued with his bid, his third-term bid, and it's becoming a menace. What Mnangagwa has done is that yesterday, the youths in Mashonaland East have now joined the bid for Mnangagwa to go for the third term. So I think this is very worrying because originally we thought Mnangagwa had stopped. And now it appears as if he's intensifying the third term bid. So Masvingo has gone for the third term, Midlands has gone for the third term, and now Mashonaland East is also saying Mnangagwa must go for the third term. And this is crazy. It's unbelievable what Mnangagwa is doing. But I want to show you what Masisi said about the third term. Masisi was talking in front of Mnangagwa in Mozambique, and he explained that this business of the third term creates instability and it's bad for Africa. So let me show you this video very quickly of Masisi speaking. As I said, we've got some technical issues, so I'm actually unable to present all the videos that I want to present to you, and I've been battling to get this done, and I apologize for that. So let's see if this video is going to play. If it plays, then all good, but if it doesn't play, I'm going to put it on our other platforms. I'll let you know where I'm going to put this video. So this is a video by Masisi. He was speaking in front of Nyusi and Mnangagwa. So let's hear what Masisi said.
I also want to add my voice to commending President Nyusi in a very particular way, because he's coming towards the end of his legitimate legal term of office as President of Mozambique. That is very reassuring, because for those who may have doubted about the stability and the respect for the rule of law in the region, here's yet one another example coming up.
Right, so I think it's very clear. So unfortunately, I can't play the whole video here, but what Masisi is saying is that the third term issue of people who are supposed to be going and then they keep trying to go for the third term, it brings instability and it shows that there is no respect for the rule of law. And this is specifically true for Mnangagwa, because Mnangagwa is pushing the youths to make them appear as if they are calling for him to stay longer. But it's actually not the youths, it's Mnangagwa himself that is trying to stay in office. And the situation that is happening in Mashonaland East right now is worrying, because on the 20th, so let's see when the 20th is. The 20th is on Saturday. So this Saturday, Mnangagwa has assembled the youths in Mashonaland East, and the youths are going to be actually campaigning for Mnangagwa to go for the third term. They're taking this through the process, and they're going to take this to provincial level, which means within the ZANU-PF structures, Mnangagwa started the process of going for the third term. And this is worrying. You heard what Masisi said there. He said, this shows lack of stability, and it's not in line with the rule of law. So this is a very strong statement being made by Masisi, and these presidents in Southern Africa, they know what Mnangagwa is doing. They know that this is very bad for the region. It makes the whole region unstable. But I just want to show you what is happening, why Mnangagwa and Masisi were at that meeting at Nyusi. There is a new railway line being built between Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. And that railway line is going to be 1,700 kilometers. There's going to be a deep sea port at Techobanine. And that project has already been given $3 million for a feasibility study. And I believe that Masisi and Nyusi are going to be in Zimbabwe very soon to look at that feasibility study because what they want to do is the coal that moves from Botswana and the steel that moves from Zimbabwe is now going to be directly going to the port, to the seaport. But the key and most important part is that Mnangagwa is continuing with the third term bid, and it's worrying the presidents in Africa. Many presidents in Africa are worried about what Mnangagwa is doing regarding the third term. Then let me quickly go to other news. And today I want to quickly finish this. I don't want to take a long time. Let's see what else has happened in Zimbabwe. I want to start with a sad story, and that is the death of Nyusi Mashakada. You know that in February, Nyusi Mashakada asked Wikino Chivayo for a car or some assistance with some chicks. I remember talking about the story here. So she has passed away yesterday. And then there is a very interesting appointment that has been done in Zimbabwe. So Standard Bank Zimbabwe has made a very interesting appointment. And Standard Bank Zimbabwe, Stanbic, so in Zimbabwe it's called Stanbic. It's Standard Bank in South Africa, in Zimbabwe it's called Stanbic. They've appointed Lucinda Lee Tyser as a non-executive director. So Lucinda Lee Tyser is very interesting because she's not your traditional business person. So she is someone in what is called ESG. I think it's environmental science and geography. So she studied at the Oxford Brookes University and has a master's degree in applied ecology and conservation from the University of Anglia. She holds a certificate in sustainable finance, clean cooking, and business. So she's going to be a non-executive director at Standard Bank or Stanbic Zimbabwe. Very interesting. Banking in Zimbabwe is dominated by South African companies. So you've got Nedbank, you've got Stanbic, and I think you've got other South African banks operating there. Investec owns OK shares as far as I'm concerned and as far as I remember. So there's a big domination of the retail sector and the banking sector by South African companies in Zimbabwe. And I believe that ABSA was also part of Barclays and they had a portion in Zimbabwe. So I don't know if First Capital is still owned by Barclays or ABSA. So these are big developments and big appointments that are happening in Zimbabwe. The actual money is being made. A lot of money is being made in Zimbabwe. I've looked at the shares or the reports by companies like Sasai, and I think they also own a bank there. It used to be called TN Bank. I believe that they have reported increase in their profit of over 60%. And this is because of remittances. So there's a lot of money coming from Zimbabweans based overseas who are investing in the country. So Zimbabweans are investing in the country, but they're basically throwing their money into a deep, dark hole. Don't come back, that money, because the currency is crashing. And Mnangagwa is continuing with these crazy antics of trying to go for a third term. This is going to be a very serious problem, what Mnangagwa is doing with the third term in Zimbabwe. Then I want to, so I'll be trying to look for that video. As I said to you, I'm having issues with uploading my videos. I would have wanted you to see the actual video of Mnangagwa's people and youths saying that they're going for a third term and calling for a meeting on Saturday. So this is a disaster, what is happening in Harare. Mnangagwa is pushing the youths to make him appear as if he's popular. He's so popular that people want him to stay until 2030. He's saying 2030, but I believe that he actually wants to go beyond 2030. I believe that we've got a situation here where someone has just decided to wake up and think that no one else in the country can take over. And guys in ZANU-PF needs to rein in Mnangagwa to make sure that he doesn't continue with what he's doing. This is a disaster, having a president that thinks he can go forever and ever as the president of the country. I now want to look at the newspapers. Let's see if there's anything in the newspapers. Let's start with the newspaper called H Metro. I want to see if these guys have published. Yes, so we've got H Metro newspaper that is published. Let me check what they've got in there. They've got an interesting story. Dimbare splashes $1,000 on a Sangoma, and they still lost. And then there is an interesting story of Msengezi. You remember I've been talking about Msengezi. Msengezi, the car dealer, has been acquitted of culpable homicide charges, but has been banned from driving for 30 days and fined $150 after failing to stop after an accident. So Msengezi has been released. He's no longer in jail. I do not know what deal has been cut over there. So the judge has found him not guilty. Then let me see what the reasons are. Brian and his friends were planning a birthday party for the now deceased. These discussions were being done after midnight. Brian had conflicting versions of what happened. You couldn't see the borders obstructing the inner lane. The court has drawn the reasonable conclusion that Brian was intoxicated. So Matthew Msengezi has been released. He is no longer in jail. And this is a very political case, very, very political case, which is being seen as something that was orchestrated after Msengezi challenged some ZANU-PF people who had a business deal with him falling out. So you can go and check out that story in H Metro newspaper. Car dealer and prominent socialite from Zimbabwe who drives expensive cars has been released with Msengezi after he was acquitted of culpable homicide in the death. So he did a hit and run or fled the scene of an accident. Let's see if there's anything in the Herald newspaper. So I hate it when I look at the newspapers when I'm here, because I don't see the stories that I want to see. And this normally happens when things don't go well with my technology. So I'm very unhappy with a provider. Okay, so we don't have Chronicle, we don't have Herald. Let's look at Sowetan newspaper, if there's anything over there. Sowetan newspaper says the new Minister of Home Affairs of South Africa is going to be cracking down on illegal immigrants. They are going to be going to construction sites, restaurants, and all these places where Zimbabweans are employed. So what I can tell you is that if you are currently working in South Africa, then you're Zimbabwean, just know that your time is over. You need to start thinking of other ways of making money. So the problem with working in South Africa without documents is that eventually you're going to be chased out. And when you're chased out, you have nothing to show for it. So let's fix our country. That is all I can say. And let's start with dealing with what Mnangagwa is doing right now. Going for the third term. Mnangagwa's third term bid has been revived, and it's taking place right in front of our eyes. 3 out of 10 provinces have already endorsed Mnangagwa to go for a third term. And this is Mashonaland East, Midlands, and Masvingo. Obviously, Masvingo is going to be one of those provinces that endorse Mnangagwa. And I think I've managed to somehow work on that video. So let me see if I'm going to be able to show you the video. And I really want to show you this video because it's an interesting video. It shows you that Mnangagwa is continuing and it's going on and on. So I'm going to just try to share that video. So just give me a second so that we share this video of Mnangagwa's people saying you must go for a third term in Mashonaland East. So let me share the screen for you. And the rain has just started. This is crazy. How am I going to go to gym when it's raining? But it's okay. I'll make a plan. So that is Mashonaland East there. So let me show you what they're saying in Mashonaland East about Mnangagwa going for a third term. Right, so I just wanted you to see that, and so that you don't think I'm making this up. So on the 20th, The process is going to start from Mnangagwa to go for the third term in Mashonaland East. They're going to be meeting and discussing a formal process of making Mnangagwa go for the third term. When I say third term, I'm talking here of going up to 2030. And Masisi, the president of Botswana, has said during a meeting between Nyusi, Mnangagwa, and himself in Mozambique that going for these third terms, it causes instability, it makes the region less attractive, and it shows that there's no respect for the rule of law. That is basically what it is. Mnangagwa is going on with the third term bid, and someone has to stop him. Someone has to stop the behavior of Mnangagwa here, third term. This is undesirable, and guys in ZANU-PF must put an end to this thing that is starting to happen right now in ZANU-PF. You saw it this weekend. We showed you the video. Masvingo province, Midlands province, they've endorsed the third term.
Saka basa tatotanga kuno ku Midlands yokambenera baba ba Mnangagwa for 2028 todarikira 2030 tinawo.
Saka basa rangu ndere kutora izvozvo ndichienda nazvo tozouya tichikupai mhinduro yake.
Right, so I think what actually needs to happen is someone needs to come up and stop this madness. We need someone who's capable, who's going to stand up and say enough is enough and this shouldn't be allowed to continue. So as I'm having so many technical issues with my technology today, I'm going to bring this to an end. And what we'll do is tonight we'll be back. I'll give you another update on what would have happened during the day. Is, you know, tomorrow SADC is coming to Zimbabwe, the 17th. SADC is going to be coming to Zimbabwe exactly a month before the SADC summit. A decision is going to be made if Zimbabwe is ready or not. And there are three options that I've given you of what can happen. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see what SADC does in Zimbabwe. We want to see if SADC continues to go down this dark road with Mnangagwa until they embarrass themselves. My belief is that this thing should become virtual. The SADC summit should become virtual. Zimbabwe is not ready. Or they should move the SADC summit to another country. And this also speaks to the chairmanship. What happens to the chairmanship of Mnangagwa? Mnangagwa should not be the chairperson of SADC. And there should be dialogue with Zimbabwe leading to fresh elections. We need fresh elections in our country. So thank you very much for watching, and a good day to you all.